We are going to talk about types of publications in medicine. I separated types of publications in medicine. Before I give you explanation, I want to know your opinion. Why do you think I separated these things, types of publications in medicine? Okay, research articles can be similar in pharmaceutics, chemistry, agriculture, biology, genetics, in different fields of science. But in medicine, there are different, various types of publications, research publications. Why do you think do they differ in medicine? Sorry. What's your point? Why do we have to navigate in medicine? Why?
Because there are many types of research, many types of fields of knowledge.
Okay, why don't we have these types of papers in pharmaceutics, for example? Why? Only in medicine. You know, it's not kind of complex answer. It's easy. Clinical trial, case report, case series.
Actually, the foreign countries, medicine and pharmaceutics is one field, but in our country it's separated. You mean this?
Okay, I wouldn't completely agree with your opinion. Yes, there are overlapping points between medicine and pharmaceutics. Okay, if not pharmaceutics, in chemistry or in biology, in agriculture, we do not have, for example, case report, not clinical trial, case report, case series, cohort study. We do not have in agriculture, in biotechnology. Why? Okay, I will give my answer. Because in medicine, when we study the effect of drugs, for example, on patients, we cannot find a big number of patients that we can study as a research article in biotechnology, in chemistry, in genetics. Yeah. For example, if we want to see significant differences in the field, we can take 500 control plants, 500 treated plants, or 50 control plants, 50 treated plants. Yeah. But in medicine, we cannot. You understand? Yeah. That is why in medicine there is a case report. Case report describes one unusual patient case. Okay. Case series describes several related patient cases. Okay. One case of one patient can be a topic of one research paper in medicine. If you write this kind of case report in agriculture, you are going to write a research paper about the case of one plant. Okay, they throw it. Yeah, okay, that cannot be a good paper in agriculture. But in medicine, it can be. Why? Because human body, we cannot find many patients. Yeah, we cannot, for example, induce some diseases in some people, healthy people, and use them as patient. Yeah, it is impossible. That's why there are different types of papers in medicine. Do you understand? Yeah, good. Okay, cohort study, follow groups over time. I'm sorry. In cohort study, a group of patients are collected, and over time they are studied. Which means, for example, in order to write one cohort paper, 5 years, 10 years can be needed. Okay, 10 people are grouped, and their blood, for example, is taken. After 6 months, their blood is taken. Glucose, for example, is quantified. Yeah. Every 6 months, for example, their glucose is quantified, and this kind of results, for example, after 3, 4, 5 years, can be collected as one paper, and it is termed cohort study. Okay, if you do not know the meaning of cohort study, try Google it, and you will find it. case control study. Some cases are compared with control. In case study, case report, they do not have control. One case is described as one paper. In case series, many series are described. Okay, and we talked about review article and systematic articles and analysis, and we know the meaning of clinical trials. Yeah. If you read some clinical papers, in clinical papers, okay, it is usually written like, okay, we had in general 50, for example, patients, yeah, 27 of them were male, 23 of them were female, and 40% of them, for example, were under the age of 40 years old. Yeah, some special information like this is to be provided in clinical papers. Why? Because they have to be explained according to the rules required in those papers. Okay, that's why, okay, you are not medical guys, some of you. That is why we need to go deeper into the information we are dealing with. Okay, you are, for example, Ilhamjan is dealing, for example, biotechnology. If you do not understand some terms, you need to go deeper, try to understand the essence. Why, for example, some primers are excluded, some primers are included. We need to understand all those information. Okay, good. Types of publications in medicine. Randomized controlled trial. Do we know the meaning of randomization? Yeah, random analysis. Yeah, some of the samples are selected randomly. Randomized controlled trial. Short communication is a type of paper that belongs to all disciplines. In short communication, rapid publication is intended. IMRAT structure is not followed in those papers. There are technical notes like the methods paper and editorial. Editorial papers are usually offered to those experts who have high levels, and they write their editorial papers. And we can see commentary papers, consensus statement, protocol papers as well. Why I am trying to explain this information to you, we have to be free of templates in our mind. While you are reading, for example, the paper, do not take some information as the rule, okay? In the 18th century, for example, one Russian guy named Lomonosov, yeah, said that the mass of the matter is conserved. For many decades, okay, for 2 centuries, that law was considered as the law, unchanged. And today, okay, scientists consider that the mass conservation may not be right. The conservation of matter, not mass, can be a better option. Okay, which means, okay, the information that we considered to be true 2 decades ago may not be consistent with the information the researchers today consider. Okay, good. We have to be free of protocols. Templates. We have to be adaptable. We have to try reach the essence of those information. And even there are some image reports and clinical images. One image can be published as one paper. Okay, the description is given, the explanation is given, but one image with high resolution can also be published as one paper. Okay, if you see some of these papers, some papers like that, okay, you don't have to make a conclusion that that's not good, the paper is not, the journal may not be suitable. Yeah, Actually, there are many different types of papers in research as well. Okay. Types of publications in medicine. Okay, we talked about this. Now we are going to see the differences of three different papers. The first one is original research paper. Original research paper, research article is indicated here. The title of the paper, the author list, when it was received, when it was accepted, and abstract. This information is the one that is paid the special attention. Actually, tomorrow or the day after tomorrow, we are going to talk about abstract, introduction, results discussion sections. I just want you to keep in mind that title of the article and the abstract carries special pointers. Why? Because these 2 points are very significant for the for selling the whole paper, which is a part of their I cannot find the proper word. Ticaretleştiriş. How do you commercialization? Yeah, from the commercial point of view, abstract and titles are very significant, because if the abstract is interesting, so then the reader might have an interest to get acquainted with the whole content of that paper. Okay, good. Do we know about DOI numbers? Good. Okay, I'm not going to explain. Maybe during the coffee break, I might explain to some of them. I want you to pay your attention to this point as well. Received on 13th December 2025, accepted on February 16th, 2026. How many months have passed between these two dates? December, January, February. Yeah, 3 months. Yeah? This is one of the fastest published papers. Fastest. Yeah? Let's take a look at the next one. Receive it on July 2010 and September 1st. It's also, okay, publish it on September. July, August, September, 3 months. We are going to come back to these papers as well. Is it indicated here? No, it's not indicated here. Which means, okay, when you want to submit your papers to some journals, just try to take a look at this date. If it's too long, you might take into consideration that the process may not be fast enough. Okay, this is one of the points we have to pay our attention to. Okay, the title of the first paper, research paper, colon targeted pH responsive to facilitate these improve ulcerative colitis outcomes with lower systemic exposure. How many words, unfamiliar words do you find in this paper, in this title? 2, 3, 4, many? All of them. Okay, the point is, the point is, okay, we will talk about this point as well. Do we know the difference between intensive reading and extensive reading?
Skimming to analyze the papers for essentials, and then reading for extraction of information.
Okay, to a wide range of audience, which type of reading can be more suitable? Extensive reading or intensive reading? Okay, intensive reading. You want to understand all the information. Intensive reading. Okay? And there are many papers. Okay, the first paper, the second paper, the third paper. You want to understand general pointers. For example, you are reading 3 papers about biotechnology, and you want to know how they express it, the protein, for example, in E. coli. You are interested only in the expression. Okay? And this kind of approach in while you are reading the papers is termed extensive. Why am I asking you all this information? Even for me, who have been dealing with drug delivery for the last 7, 8 years, there are some words that are not familiar to me. So what should I do? Do I have to skip it? Yeah, no, don't have to do it. I need to understand the meaning of unfamiliar to me words, or just I can, for now, not pay special attention to them, try to catch what the paper is about. Do you understand? So we have to develop our approach as an extensive reader while we are reading the scientific papers. Okay? I'm not going to read the abstract. The next one, clinical trial. A phase 1 study of continuous infusion selected in patients with solid tumors. When we read clinical papers like this, at least we can extract some information like toxic effect, yeah, allowed concentration of drugs, and the duration of cycles as indicated here. Yeah, dose limiting toxicities. Some terms like this can be extracted. We can expand our horizon of understanding the medical papers. Okay? Even if we do not understand all the information here, even if we are able to understand a few sentences, still we can find out at least about the new terms, as I indicated, or we can find out about the drugs that was used against one drug. Okay? I want you to understand one point. During the PhD defenses, have you attended PhD defenses? You, of course, and you, yeah. If you attend PhD defenses, you will see that the researchers have, let's say, different approaches, different information that might cancel each other. Yeah. Why is it like that? Because first, it is about the alive cells, for example. One effect may not be observed in one experiment, and another science group did not, for example, study at that point. So this kind of, let's say, this kind of approaches, this kind of information that might seemingly cancel each other can be observed, which means, okay, still the researchers who are an expert in the narrow field of science may not know some of the points. Do you understand? No? In Uzbek, I will try to explain. Hatto bitta tor sohani olimi ham qaysidir jihatni bilmay qolishi mumkin. Himoyalarda misol uchun bir-birini inkor qiladigan axborotlar shundan kelib chiqadi deyapti. Bu nima degani? 10 yil, 15 yil qaysidir tor sohada o'rganib yurgan olim ham hattoki qaysidir jihatni bilmay qolishi mumkinligi bizni maqola o'qishdan qaytarib qolmasin. Tushundikmi? Ha? Men misol uchun o'zimni o'ta tor sohamga oid adabiyotlarni o'qisam, maksimum tushunsam 50% tushunaman, maksimum. Men faqat drug delivery tomonini tushunishim mumkin. Uning ichida biotexnologiyasi bo'lishi mumkin. Uning ichida gene engineering bo'lishi mumkin. Misol uchun oqsil dorilarni olishlarda uning ichida hujayra eksperimentlari bor. Qaysidir ozgina sohasini tushuna olaman xolos. Tushundingmi? Ya'ni siz o'zingiz tushunadigan jihatini tushunib, qolgan jihatlarni haligi o'zingiz tushunadigan axborot atrofiga qo'yib, mana gorizontni kengaytirishi tadorigini ko'rishimiz kerak. Tushundingmi? Axborot ko'proq bo'lsa, qochmasligimiz kerak. Yengib kechmaydi. Systematic review. Okay, systematic reviews may not be easy for you, but in what I wanted to explain on this information given here, in every abstract we can see aim, background, methods, results, and conclusion. Impact may not be expressed all the time. Okay, in every abstract we see aim, background, yeah, review methods, methods, results, and conclusion. Let's take a look at this one. Here, okay, this is meta-analysis. Yeah, the first one, summary, background, methods, yeah, conclusion. In some way, there should be results as well. Why these points are sometimes shown, intentionally demonstrated? Because some authors may skip, may not express these pointers. That is why, okay, these pointers, background, methods, results, discussion are shown, and we can find this information in every single paper. Okay, in the abstracts. Why we need to understand? Because, as I said, this is very significant for the commercialization of the papers. The reader tries to catch the information by reading results and the conclusion. Okay, the background may not be interesting to some readers, but the results are significant. The conclusion is very significant. Okay. Background, methods, results, and conclusion all the time. And this is an example to cohort study. Do you remember what cohort studies were? I explained. Cohort studies are the research papers of the group people that are studied for a long time, yeah? For 5 years, 6 years, yeah? The same results are repeatedly studied, and when they are collected, they make a cohort study. Okay, so cohort study, prospective matched cohort study. What I wanted to say with that. Okay, yeah. Methods, please read it. We identified 14,112 persons who had received electrical injuries into Danish registries. We matched this with patients partly with dislocation sprain injuries and partly with persons from the workforce from the same occupation using year of accident, sex, and age as matching variables in a prospective matched cohort design. We identified cataract as outcome. I don't know what they stand for. DH25, DH26, DH28. In the Danish National Patients Registry, the associations were analyzed using conditional clocks and logistic regression. This is a type of statistical analysis. You see, even 14,000 people were studied. Some of them were filtered, yeah, collected, and using year of accident. For some years, they were studied. Okay, that is why scientific papers are evaluated highly. I want you to understand one thing. When we had the conference for students. I'm not criticizing them. When we had students conference, some guys are reporting their results. It's like, okay, for 2 days, 3 days, I studied that, and I came to a conclusion that it stands for that or that. My point is that research design is not that simple level. Okay, in cohort studies, years are needed to collect the information. Cross-sectional study. Cross-sectional studies are those analyze the population at the one point of prevalence, association, social performance, anxiety. Cross-sectional studies are the type of papers that are studied in the crossing points of some patients, let's say. Again, background and purpose, material, methods, results, and conclusion. In all types of papers, we see these things: background, methods, results, and conclusion. Okay? Case report. Okay. Okay, two more pages we are going to talk, and then we will have a break. Case report. Do we remember what case reports were?
Usual case.
Unusual case, yeah. One patient's case is described in one paper. That is the case report. Is there someone who watched Dr. House serial? How many of you? In Uzbek or in English? In Uzbek. I watched it in English 4 or 5 times, the whole season. I liked it very much because it is quite scientific. I tried to find the answer why that film. I mean, one series was dedicated to the problem. It is still difficult, but if you want to expand your understanding, I would recommend you to watch it several times. Of course, if you have some time. I mean, watching the whole season once, it's better to watch the same series 2-3 times. It would be more effective. Case report. In that Dr. House area, also case reports were explained. Case reports are those, I'm sorry. Case reports are those that describe the unusual point. The authors try to explain why unusual cases were observed in that case. Different from other requirements like background, case reports, conclusion methods, they are sometimes required to show the highlights. Why? Because it is different. It's not compared with others. It is observed as one case. That is why highlighters are required in those papers. Okay? In case reports. Highlights are required in different publications as well, but the point is highlighting pointers are expected to be necessary for case reports. Case control study. Do we remember the difference between case study and case control study? What is control?
Control group and
Good, thank you. I give you some water, yeah, simple water, and yeah, I give you that simple water in this mug. Do we call it mug? Glass and mug. And if you see some difference, it's just an observation. We can claim something, the effect of drinking in this mug. Yeah. So this is a kind of treatment, and this is control. You understand? So if we compare one data set with another, So this one can be accepted as control. Case control is the one case is compared with control group. You understand? No? In case study, we said one case is explained. In case control study, one case is compared with control.
We say if we are
Let's say healthy. Yes.
yeah, if we just simply say that it control group is kind of a treatment in kind of case of treatment, drug is not delivered to the patients. But
Yeah.
in the group, in other group, the drug is delivered.
Yeah.
Some group they do not intake the drug. Another group intake the drug for this kind of case.
The fine point is here. This is not a group. This is one case. If it is group, okay, it would look like a research paper, a normal research paper. Here there is one case, and this is control group. And control can be one patient, control can be a group, one, but this is one case usually. Okay? And here we have the differences between case study and case control study. Detailed description of one patient, observational analytical study comparing people with a disease. Sorry. Okay, with the disease to people without it. Purpose, reports unusual, rare or novel findings. And here, in case control, investigates possible causes or risk factors of a disease. What is the difference between these 2 points? I'm sorry. Can you explain these differences in these statements? Reports unusual, rare or novel findings, and it investigates possible causes of risk factors of a disease. Okay, which one is more reliable, do you think?
Case control.
Why?
Because there is
Because there is control group. Okay, now even when we are reading for the first time, we can understand this. We can make this kind of conclusions, and this kind of conclusions help us to grow as a reader. Okay, even if someone does not tell you this kind of difference between investigation and comparing to control or not control, you can make a conclusion relying on your fundamental knowledge. If there is a control group, that statement, I mean, that information as a new knowledge can be more reliable, right? Can be more valid, let's say. So while reading the papers, please try to make this kind of conclusions and make notes for yourself. Okay? Sorry. Number of subjects, usually one patient or a few in a case series. Okay, usually one patient. Some 2, 3 can be observed sometimes. 2 groups, cases and control. Yeah. Since it has control, okay, again, it is more valid. This is also expected more valid. Control group, usually absent in case study, in case control study, present. How do we have to understand usually absent? Okay, this is the point. Black, white. Yeah? We cannot claim scientific results as black and white all the time. Sometimes we can see gray color between them. Yeah? There is no strict differences, strict borders between the studies types as well. Here, for example, usually absent means, okay, in some cases, in case control, I mean, in case studies, the control group can also be included. But even if control groups are included, it is still considered as a case study. Why? because the control group may not answer all the questions and may not meet the requirements developed for the control group. Okay, as an additional, let's say, information, control results can also be included in those cases as well. Do you understand? And study design, it is descriptive. This is, let's say, quantifiable, analytical and comparative. Do you understand? Descriptive. Based on some quantity analysis, we cannot make some kind of strict conclusions about design study. Okay, but in case control, we have some digital numbers that could be compared with each others. Do you understand? Now I am going to stop again, and then we will continue. Остановить запись.